How do you remember something that you could never name? No one remembers the belly, but the body does. Before you were anyone, you were already a sensation, the rhythm of a heart that was not yours, a mother's fear, the silence of a house. You had no name, you didn't know how to speak, but you already felt. And that feeling, it didn't go away, it hid. It became skin, reflex, undated wound. The oldest memories have no words, but they are the most loyal. They are there when you react without knowing why, when you love in fear, when you run from something you never lived, but still inhabits you. History does not begin when we are born. It begins when someone else with their body writes us without knowing it. And that is also memory. I have never seen a historian in the world, so far, who has talked about or analyzed memories in the womb. It's usually done by people in the health field. To date, I have never seen historians talk about the first memories we create in our mother's womb. This type of research is led by healthcare professionals such as nurses, psychologists, neurologists, and neonatologists. While surfing the internet, I found this interesting article by Dr. Charlene Krueger from the University of Florida entitled Exposure to Maternal Voice in Preterm Infants, a Review. Krueger tells us that our mother's voice is key to the development of the fetus in the womb. Touch, light, and smells stimulate our sensory systems. In 2010, the year the article was published, the author mentions that there are few studies that talk about how preterm babies are affected if they are not close to their mother and do not hear her. She reviewed maternal voice recordings of several babies born between 1972 and 2007. The statistical data showed positive effects on development, but more research on the subject is still needed. More precise metrics and statistics are needed to understand the therapeutic potential of maternal voice in premature infants. In these studies, improvements in oxygenation, facial expression, sleep, and heart rate were noted. Other research by Krueger has shown that babies start acquiring knowledge in the womb as early as 34 weeks gestation, and by 38 weeks babies are born with memory. Already when they are born, they can be seen to react to certain stimuli. Spanish obstetricians and gynecologists González, Suarez, Perez, Pinero, Domenech, and Bartha wrote in 2006, Persistence of Fetal Memory into Neonatal Life. 41 newborns were stimulated with a specialized acoustic vibrator that simulated intrauterine conditions. They used an indicator called the neonatal habituation rate, which measures the number of consecutive stimuli applied to the infant before it stopped responding. As a result, they found that newborns who were stimulated in the womb habituated earlier than those who were not. Thus, for the authors, this attests to the fact that there is a natal memory. This research is just a small part of a long debate about the role of maternal voice in the development of preterm infants and in utero. Clinical trials have been done, but there are still no clear answers. Thus, the maternal voice looms in recent, or as some historians call it contemporary, history as a resource of symbolic and clinical value, whose impact needs to be better understood. For a historian, these documents may be regarded as primary sources, that is, records which reveal the medical scientific worldview of the 21st century. They offer insights into how we understand human development, vulnerability, motherhood, and memory. Our era demands measurement, which finds its validation in data, percentages, and statistical significance. One might interpret our time as an age which, despite remarkable scientific advances, seeks to reconnect with what is basic and essential, all mediated through technological, sonic devices. Based on clinical studies, we may conclude that the human brain begins to store information even before birth. Prenatal memory and recollection appear to be highly emotional and deeply sensitive. Now let's look at basic definitions of history, the common ones, the kind you find readily available. As you can see, they all refer to some kind of chain of past events experienced by someone. Look now in Cambridge Dictionary. What do you think? It's very similar to the previous one. The same chain of past events is mentioned. Let's now look at a much more professional context. Look the skills here: critical reasoning and analytical skills, including the capacity for solving problems and thinking creatively; intellectual rigor and independence, including the ability to conduct detailed research; ability to construct an argument and communicate findings in a clear and persuasive manner, both orally and in writing; capability to work without direct supervision and manage your time and priorities effectively; ability to discuss ideas in groups and to negotiate, question, and summarize; capacity to think objectively and approach problems and new situations with an open mind, and gives you the ability to apply a historical perspective to modern problems; appreciation of the different factors that influence the activities of groups and individuals in society; cultural awareness and global perspective, which is valuable in diverse professional environment. History is a chain of events, much like statistical data. The moments that pass each day are recorded in databases, which, in this case, were clinical and medical in nature. Through the careful tracking of that information, we're able to draw well-founded conclusions. However, despite all the rigor, many loose ends remain. On the other hand, if we are able to gather data on prenatal memory, we might then say, based on all of the above, that history itself is prenatal. For now, we're starting with the most essential aspects of things. In future videos, I'll explore other stages of humanity, this time with slightly more sophisticated theories. When it comes to the prenatal realm, a historian could indeed carry out research. However, the rigor of medical science often leaves one empty-handed. It demands a specialized language or training to approach it properly. And truthfully, the medical professionals themselves already do it with great efficiency and precision. You'd almost need a medical degree to take it on. What topic would you like us to explore in the next video? Leave it in the comments.